I'd say let's get it going. So again, welcome to the webinar on PDF Compressor in Practice, part 2 today about processing born digital documents. When you haven't seen the part 1 of this here, you already probably missed something, but no problem. First of all, you will still understand today's content. Secondly, you can look at what we did 2 weeks ago on August 21. So the first part was talking about processing scanned documents with the PDF compressor. And it also gave you a general overview of how to configure, the Windows service, the number of processor cores, the licenses. It gave you an idea about the different modes of how to integrate PDF compressor into your environments and into your workflows using hot folders, using jobless processing, and all the other fancy stuff. And just if you're interested in, take a look at the recording. It's just there in the Knowledge Center on LuraTech's webpage when you access it in English. It is also recorded in German language. If you like, when you enter the page in German language, you'll see a Wissen Center, and there you see the recording as well. Okay, but it's part 2 today. So I'm going to start part 2 with a real rough, quick overview on how to configure a job and what it really means. Just merely seconds to give you a context, but other than that, again, I refer to the 2 weeks ago webinar. I will definitely talk about how to convert Office files and PDF files that are probably character encoded, that are born digital content in a way, into PDF or PDFA using the PDF compressor. I give you a quick example of a more structure-rich usage of PDFA using the German Zugwert standard, but it's just really an example for us here. Don't need to understand the German standard here for that. And when it comes to structured content, emails and their attachments in their different forms are probably a way to really put it to an extent and structure the output of your PDF files with bookmarks, with attachments, and all this kind of stuff. We will see today mostly in the context of how to convert emails using the PDF compressor into a durable format or something like that. And that is giving you a hint on how structure-rich PDF can be when you output it from PDF compressor. Okay, 4 slides, 1 is down. Here's the next. What I want to say here is why are our customers using the Born Digital option, or what are they doing with the PDF compressor in the context of Born Digital files? Mostly, it is about converting documents to PDFA. Sometimes it's just merely converting documents to PDF, but most of them do it with PDFA. Now, what PDFA is and everything else is not subject of this webinar. Again, another hint. LuraTech has a pretty nice YouTube channel in the meantime. When you want to have some basic information about PDFA or other topics here, probably LuraTech's YouTube channel, youtube.com/LuraTech, is a go-to where you can get some kind of recorded webinars and other video content of screencasts and so on. More about the PDF compressor, more than I say today, is of course available on our website. But now back to processing born digital documents. What scenarios are our customers using the PDF compressor for when it comes to converting born digital documents? One is there's more than that, but there's 2 major parts of it. One is really tied to or connected or in relation to the input management in a company. It's no longer that we just all receive letters. It's probably even less and less. Or at least that's not the growing segment. So we're not only dealing with scanned documents there any longer, but we receive faxes and emails with attachments. So in other words, any kind of format that is possibly out there is what is coming through multi-channel input into a company, in the digital mailroom, in the mailroom in general. And the goals mostly are here for our users to create a secure, long-term archive-ready format that is also unified in a way that you end up with the same format no matter what the original input was. Say, was it a scan, was it a fax, was it an email, was it a Word file, was it whatever? You end up with PDF, in most cases, again, with PDFA with our users so far, and you can process that throughout your archiving process or throughout your other enterprise content management processes that you probably have in place. So that's one of the bigger scenarios, let's say, where people use our PDF compressor with. The second one is what I call rendition services in a way. So what that says is you probably have documents of all kinds of formats sitting in your archive, on your file servers, in your systems, or your ERP system is creating output in any kind of PDF format, and you need to do something about that. Need to do something about that by probably saying we only send out PDF, we only send out PDFA or whatever to our customers, no matter what the customer sent to us, no matter what is stored in the system, it has to be rendered, and this is the term rendition service, into a high quality, unified, always looking the same kind of document standard, in this case, mostly PDF. This might not be connected to the input channel or input management scenarios. This might be connected to something more output oriented. It might be connected to your ERP software. It might be connected to any kind of business processing tool or whatever you have that generates documents that are bound towards being sent to the customer by email or something like that. So rendering to PDF is another use case where our Born Digital customers are using PDF Compressor. Now, just one word on quality. LuraTech itself, LuraTech as a company, the engineers here and so on are heavily involved in standardization of PDF and PDFA. We founded the PDFA Competence Center years ago, now being the PDF Association, because we had an idea about that we not only need to talk about that and educate people on what's available, but also with the technical working groups in there, get an interoperability on the highest quality standards that we could probably get. And I think that's also something that you can connect to our products. The PDF compressor really generates high quality PDF output, no matter where it comes from when it comes to the Born Digital option. So quality PDF, in my opinion, is key. So I just want to really encourage you to take a look at what PDF software you're using there, because there is this problem that the Adobe Reader renders every PDF document, and even if it's really, really malformatted and there's the wrong syntax in there or something like that, so errors are not really visible on the first place. It seems to be okay, but it isn't. And when you put that into your processes, when you send that out to customers, it's just really a bad situation. And try to avoid that. Look at PDF Association website, and obviously consider taking our tools where we really put a focus on high quality PDF as an output, and especially ISO PDF like ISO 32000 or, of course, PDFA. So, end of advertisement. Back to how to do things with the PDF compressor. And for those, and there are some here who listened into the webinar 2 weeks ago, you saw that slide here, a little smaller. When we were talking about scanned documents, you saw paper and a scanner, you saw JPEGs, TIFFs, probably PDFs coming out of that scan software, running through that PDF compressor, in that case, kind of as a black box, defined input, a defined set of parameters, an option set creates defined output. Now, I enlarged this here a little bit to show you that in the same fashion, we can also process Born Digital files. So Office files, emails, I gave you a couple of examples. There's many more out there. Then there's a specialty in there, right at the border between probably scanned or probably Born Digital is PDF. That might be a PDF file with 20 scanned pages, so 20 images in there. It might be a PDF file with really structured content, character encoded content all over the place. And our software has to take into consideration what's best to process this PDF file. And therefore, we introduced with version 7 the so-called automatic mode. And I'm going to show you what that does in detail once we take a look at the software. So the output that comes out of that is PDF, is PDFA, no matter what the input is. And it can be OCR, it can be structured by bookmarks, it has security features where applicable, and it can go in a network or a workflow, it can go in the archive, or it can even come out of an archive or another storage being converted to then being sent in the network to the customers or something like that. So that's the PDF compressor scenario, let's say, how to use it. It has several ways of integrating with your existing workflows out there. Again, reference to the first part of the webinar here, where I explained what's all behind that. It is designed for fully automatic, unattended processing, not only in the scan field, but also really with born digital content. It's highly scalable. So we have users with a digital mailroom having no more than 1,000 pages a month or something like that. We also have users who run 70, 80, 90, 100 cores probably, producing tens of millions or even hundreds of millions documents or pages a month through the PDF compressor. Highly scalable. And for those who are users here, and there's a bunch of users in here on the list of the attendees here, you probably really know that this PDF compressor is an all-time reliable tool that sits in the server room and you tend to forget about it. It's just running there, crunching away on documents, converting with hardly ever creating any disturbance or something like that. Automatic mode, I told you, is in there, a very important feature, but I'm going to show you better than talk or better than PowerPoint. And this is my fourth slide, so I got to stop slides now, showing slides now. And what I do instead is show software. What I do have here is a screensaver. Now, what I do have here is a Windows 2008 server operating system, that's just because it's there. It could be a Windows 7, it could be 32-bit, it could be 64-bit, whatever. This thing is a Windows service, it is fully 64-bit enabled, but also available in other versions. And the Windows service, and I'm not going to dive into that too deep here. You can double click. Comes with a GUI to merely configure and set up jobs. Obviously didn't hit the right button now. Set up jobs, and again, for those who have been in the earlier webinar 2 weeks ago, you remember the jobs for the scanned documents that we had and that we looked at. Now today I have a couple of more jobs here to take a look at for born digital conversion. So how do you do that? It's pretty straightforward, especially if you know a little bit your way around in PDF Compressor. You have this input folder or input folders with subfolders or whatever on the input tab here. Now, new, and what we didn't look at it last time, is you have a long list that you can even extend down here with some more file types, a long list of different file types where some of them are raster images, some of them are right on the border as PDF and JPM, and some of them are really clearly born digital formats, character encoded formats. Now, you can use that to say, okay, whatever hits that folder, if it's not a PDF or a Word file, I'm not going to process it. For example, if it's a TIFF, I leave it alone. Or you switch on everything, and it processes everything that comes into there. The specific jobs, going to the defined setting that I was talking about, output folder, and in this case, we output everything to PDFA 3B. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Warm-up job, I'd say, just really to get it going and understand a little bit. So this is the folder, PDF Compressor, Born Digital Conversion input folder. It's exactly the one we have here. Input, and now I'm just really starting the job. And the job again is set up to move away the successfully or erroneous processed files from the input folder. So what we see is this one starts to empty, and once it's done, using multi-core processing here, once it's done, the folder is empty except of those two here, and that's what I was talking about really earlier. Plain text file and JPEGs were just not on the list of file formats we want to process with this job. So however, it did exactly as we configured it. And on the output side, we now have no longer a PowerPoint presentation, but we have a PDF, and this we can open up. Again, it opens up in every standard reader and everything, but what I really want to show you is, it is a PDFA 3B, just as we wanted to have it, at least the reader says so, and I'm promising it is, and nothing fancy about that. It's just a multi-page former PowerPoint presentation, character encoded still, character encoded in a way that it is not rasterized or something like that. It's really still a born digital document converted into a clearly digital character encoded PDFA 3B file. Yeah, so much about that. As I said, this is the job to warm up a little bit because now when we take a look at some more fancy processing, I want to show you a little bit about the newly introduced automatic mode. The automatic mode has to do both with Born Digital content as well as with scan content, but in the Born Digital field, it has its specialities on top of that. And what we have here again, before I remove it all, is a set of different documents. There are scanned documents amongst that, obviously seen by the TIFF here. There is a PowerPoint presentation, obviously Born Digital. There is a PDF, and now you got to know that, and I know, and I'm going to tell you, this PDF here is a character encoded PDF coming out of our design tool where we did our flyers with. I think it's Adobe InDesign or something, Illustrator that we did this with, and then Born Digitally converted into a PDF file of sorts. And this is a scan to PDF. So we scanned one of our older flyers here into a PDF, and this is the scan. So now we have pretty much a mix of native format Office files, scanned documents, scan in PDF, and native Born Digital in PDF. And that's all in one folder, and that gives you a hint about what the automatic mode can do because it can process just everything in one folder. Those who are familiar with version 6, you know we resorted and restructured the whole setup GUIs here, and that is for a reason, because what we do now is we merge all those different formats into, just for the fun of it, into one output file. We pick up those formats as we marked and checked them here and leave the others alone. I think in this case we pick them all. And what I did is I put the PDF rasterization thing here to automatic. And that's really the appearance where you can see that we're using the automatic mode. The automatic mode is the default mode. And what does it do? Yeah, when you hit, say, a Born Digital file in native format, a Word file, you probably just want to configure it to whatever we want to do here. PDF A3B, it's a straightforward Born Digital conversion. It will do. When you hit a TIFF file and it's scanned, you probably want to convert it to a PDF A3B using MRC compression, which is our unique way of creating very small scanned documents. But again, that's the other webinar. And you probably want to apply OCR. When you hit the same thing in PDF, so scan to PDF, you probably have OCR in there and you don't want to ruin that. So you probably just want to really optimize the file by taking out the large images, compressing them, and reinserting MRC for that without disturbing bookmark structures or without disturbing OCR or whatever. When it's not OCR'd, you probably want to OCR it still. And when it's a character encoded PDF, that's again a straightforward Born Digital conversion, except there might be a part in it where the PDF to PDF-A conversion doesn't really work. So we always have the situation that at some parts we might not be able to convert it to PDF-A, which is nothing about our software, it's about the standard. It's about the input file and it's about the standard. So to make ends meet, you could rasterize a certain portion in a PDF file, and then really just that portion will be an image and everything else will still be character encoded. And it's probably a good idea to do that automatically when you hit a situation like that. And once you did that and create an image out of a piece, a small piece that couldn't be converted because of transparency or whatever it is, you probably at least want to have it OCR'd again, which is in here. So, and having said all that, and I hope I haven't confused you like completely, but having said all that, the automatic mode will just do that, taking care of every very single aspect, every single page, not on a document level, but really on a page level of how to treat that page best in order to achieve the best output result. So again, let's take a look at that. What we can do is we just fire up the job here and get it going. And you saw the input, well, sorry for the German language here, but you get the notion, I think, even though the documents are German. So you saw the input and it's moving out already of PDF and structured PDF and scan PDF and scans. Now, once we're done in the background here, we are done. We can take a look at the output format here, and it's just one because we merged it all together. But interesting is when you open it up, it is a PDF A3B as we wanted it to have, wanted it to be from our settings. And you see the first page, maybe we take a look at that, is clearly a scan, it's clearly compressed. And to understand that it really is, we can see whether we can use the MRC compression and look at the different layers. Yeah, clearly MRC compressed. First page, it used to be a TIFF. Now, there's another black and white scan, and no surprise, it's compressed and whatnot. Now, here's another color document, and this one was the character encoded Born Digital PDF, let's say. And it still is, and you can see that because when you go into the MRC and say switch off the background layer, text color, nothing really happens. There's no layers in there. It's a character encoded, original, no loss in accuracy kind of PDF. No longer, this time it's PDF-A. So it's a straightforward Born Digital PDF to PDF-A conversion. Now the next one was again the scan. You see that again. Scan PDF, and it's the same in here. Now it's MRC compressed, and an invoice that used to be a TIFF, another TIFF. Okay, I give in. The documents make no sense all in a row, but you get what I'm saying. And this last one used to be the PowerPoint presentation, and this is an interesting example for how the automatic mode really works for you in the background without even seeing it. It used to be a PowerPoint. Now it's PDF A3B. Every page in here, it's character encoded. You can see that it's still character encoded by, you can say, no, there's no layers in there. Still, there have been images in there. And those images, for example, this logo over here, the old LuraTech logo, but still, these images might have had characters on them. And we applied OCR to the Born Digital file, and even images in Born Digital files now get searchable for that text. So that's the best of all worlds. It's compressed when it's scanned. It's OCR'd when it's scanned. It's character encoded, Born Digital straightforward conversion when it is Born Digital to Born Digital in this case. It is all PDF-A, and even the parts that used to be that have to be images that are images in Born Digital content are made searchable, which is really the best you can get out of a document like that. That's the automatic mode, and we see more examples of what the automatic mode can do when we take a look at emails, but I hope you get the idea. We thought that our PDF compressor is doing all the different jobs, Born Digital, scans, OCR, whatever, really good, but we felt that sorting it out and putting it in different jobs for different results, and then probably having a cascading jobs who do PDF to PDF-A Born Digital conversion first and then sending it through a second job that does the OCR or do it manually or stuff like that is really annoying, is really an overhead. And we came up with the automatic mode where we now take a look at the files, analyze them, and understand what's best for them for that specific page in order to achieve the goal that is set in here, which in this case is a PDF to PDF, or is a conversion out to PDF-A 3B in this case. Okay, that's the automatic mode. Now let's move forward a little bit to structuring output using structuring output for Born Digital. Yeah, you could use that in scan documents as well, but for Born Digital content. One thing is the German Zugwert standard, and I'm not sure you heard about that before, and it also has an ugly name, but the standard is about electronic invoicing using PDF files. And what you do normally is you have an ERP on the sending side of the invoice. You have structured data in there for that invoice, but you only merely print it out or something to a PDF file with no structured data in it at all. You send that over to a receiving side, and the receiving side has all kinds of hassles and effort to regain the structured information out of that invoice by, for example, intelligent capture processes or unintelligent just typing, right? So Zugwert is now saying, okay, send your electronic invoices as PDF, in this case, really PDF A3, but that's a detail, and attach to it a defined standardized XML schema holding the structured information for that specific invoice. Now, what we do with the PDF compressor in this context, I'm going to show you here first, what we do is we can connect that's the second one, the rendition service kind of thing, right? So we can connect the PDF compressor to an ERP system, and we actually really do that at LuraTech. LuraTech is using a very simple ERP system called Lexware. You might know that, at least you have heard of that. It's a very simple, straightforward thing, good enough for our purposes. And what we can do with Lexware, we can export our invoices from there as PDF files. Plain PDF files, nothing fancy, nothing special about that. What we also can do is we can export from our ERP system a dump of structured data, CSV file, I think even. And what we also can do is we can apply a couple of automatic scripts to that exported data and transform that into a Zugfert compatible XML schema. And here's where my presentation with the PDF compressor starts. The PDF compressor has a mode for that. We take a look at the job settings. We just really tell him to pick up the invoices from the from the output folder of the ERP system, output it to PDFA3, in this case, small u for Unicode, but that's optional. PDFA3 is mandatory for that. And then under file embedding, we say, okay, create a Zugfert XML. This is a special setting where we assume or understand or have the mandatory need to have the XML having the same file name as the PDF. It's one way to do it. There's a bazillion other ways to do it when you use the normal file embedding options. And I showed a couple of that in the other webinar 2 weeks ago, but you can do it differently. For Zugfert, just there's a special one in there. You create exports from your ERP system like that, and the PDF compressor now does two things. First, he does the PDF to PDFA3 Born Digital conversion. Secondly, the PDF compressor embeds the XML file in the standardized way to create it. So that's a little more structure rich from a content, and the result, nothing surprising, but however we take a look at that, the result is a PDF file per invoice that we need to send out, and we do that at LuraTech, and we see it's a PDFA3U, just as we specified. PDFA3 is important to meet the standard. It's a standard invoice. Everybody can take a look at that and use it as they used PDF invoice all the time. And for those who really know and understand the XML part, here's the XML ready to be imported to your ERP system, where we also have an SDK for, by the way. It's free. It's free. You can just download it from our website for the import part, breaking apart the PDF and taking the XML out and whatnot. This XML can be imported into your ERP system, and typing or structured or difficult capturing is a matter of the past when you use Zugfert. German standard, it's out, version 1.0. It's standardized, and I think it's a good example of a little more structured, a little more rich PDF in the Born Digital content. Now, talking about structure rich, an email is really. So an email is the container format around that, probably an EML file, an MSG file, or something like that. In that, there is all sorts of things. There's HTML, there's multi-part MIME types in there, MIME attachments in there. There is probably rich text. There's probably just plain text. And then there is all these attachments in there. The attachments are Word, PowerPoint. They are anything that you can imagine, because anything that you can imagine can be sent by email, and thus it will be sent by email. So email conversion now allows us to create PDF files out of that as a rendition for that email that might be long-term archiving suitable, or just a PDF rendition out of that, where we can use the options of PDF that we just saw, like file embedding, where we can use bookmark structures and everything else. So first of all, how do we do email conversion? Very important thing is that you check the email box here so that we pick up email files and not leave them alone. From the input folder, again, we output it to PDFA or whatever, to you in this case in our output folder. And here are some of the email options. So now when it comes to PDFA, most of you know that attachments are not allowed in PDFA1. So the only way to work with attachments in PDFA1 is make it a linear structure, where the body is the first couple of pages, the first attachment is the next couple of pages, and so on and so forth, and put it just in one PDFA1 file. With PDFA2, you can, and with PDF as well, you can also convert those attachments of that email from, say, Word to PDFA again, or PDF again, and attach that to a PDF. And I show you how that looks in a minute. And with PDFA 3, you can even use the native original formats. And that's why we, thank God, have a default mode in here. So you don't have to take care about that from the get-go. But then again, you can structure it as you want. And I'm going to show you example rather than theoretically explaining it. So the email conversion thing, take a look at what we have in our input folder here under the term email. Input folder holds an EML file. Oh, this EML file, I can't even open on my computer. I don't have an EML viewer here. I don't have an EML software here. It's just unknown file type for me, but not for the PDF compressor. The PDF compressor doesn't need any longer, since version 7.1 now, Outlook or another mail client or something like that on a server to open it, but we've gone native. So we read the file format ourselves, break it apart accordingly, and then feed the different conversion processors in the PDF compressor, the parts of it, and then put it all together again. So this gets a whole lot more stable than trying to manage software like Outlook in a server environment, which is the way to do it when you don't have access to the file formats natively, but which is also how other products are doing it and how we did until version 7.1. Now we really do it in our way. We have a whole lot more stable installation, therefore, and on top of that, we have a whole lot of easier installation. It's just not needing server environments. It also runs on a client environment, client Windows, like Windows 7. We can run multiple conversion instances parallel without using expensive terminal server licenses and all this kind of stuff. For those of you who tried both digital and email conversion before version 7.1, you probably should take a look at it once more. Just shoot me an email. I'm going to send you a demo version. Now, okay, let's crack open this EML using the PDF compressor. Just run it so that we can take a look at what's in there in the PDF file. We can't take a look at what's in there on this computer here, looking at the EML file. So the PDF compressor is doing that, and it's doing the mail body, it's doing the attachments, it converts them all. By the way, if you have questions, start typing. I'm going to take a look at that. No questions so far. And again, what did we get out of this EML? And we get in the output just one PDF file, and we saw there were attachments when taking a look at the status bar. So this one is a PDF A2 view, and we see the mail body in here. The main text of the mail is in here, just one page. It is rendered to look a little bit like Outlook, and we can also configure to make it look like Apple Mail or whatever. This is not standard how it looks like. Every mail program does it a little bit different, but the information is standard. So we rendered it here a little bit in the Outlook style. Whatever you prefer, you can do it, style sheets. And the attachments, first of all, it's PDF A2U, and the attachments are here. So there have been 3 attachments. Again, you know that documents already, and the PDF compressor feature document is attached here. I can open it up again from here as an attachment, like in an email. It's the second document. Again, it's also a PDF A2U in this case, document that was natively converted, Bond Digital converted straightforward from PDF to PDF A2. Okay, that's a little more structure, but now I told you there's a bunch of options on how to structure that, which I prepared here. Can't run them all, but just to give you an idea. PDF A1, again, so PDF A1 has no attachments allowed. So what we could do, or what we have to do, is, you see that here, we put the mail body, same email by the way, and all the attachments in a row. Now it's a PowerPoint presentation, page by page, all in a row. And then down there is, I think, somewhere an Excel spreadsheet or something. In the end, it's here. Okay, that's what you can do with PDF A1. You can do it with regular PDF. We just can't use any attachments. In order to navigate that document better, again, structuring it, we introduced bookmarks in there. So you can go to the mail header or body. You can go to the first attachment, to the second attachment, to the third attachment, both every time on first page, using bookmarks automatically created by the PDF compressor. So structure these documents to just make it a little bit more useful, to just make it a little bit more meaningful as well. And it's long-term archiving secure. It's PDF A1. It's a good thing. PDF A2, we saw that example before. It's just again, the mail in here, PDFA to you, and it has the PDFA attachment as it is allowed in the standard. Now with PDFA3, we can do even more. Same email again from the input, but now we outputted it to PDFA3 using a couple of other options. This option here, again, only holds the mail itself in the PDFA part, in the visible master document, let's say. And the attachments now are native formats. So it's the native doc file, it's the native Excel file, the native PDF PowerPoint file in this case. But guys, heads up at this point, this is not archiving ready for the attachments. The attachments are in their native formats, so don't put that in an archive and feel secure because the container document is a PDFA. If you have a meaning with that attachment, if those attachments need to be enduring, need to be in an archiving format, don't do it this way. Convert them to PDFA as well. Use PDFA2 for probably, or attach this in addition to rendering everything to PDFA. Okay, just really a heads up here. This is not archiving ready, right, or secure, although it says PDFA file. Now, what we can do as well, as not archiving ready as the one before was, again, this is the mail, and what we can do is we can just attach the original email. Don't break it apart. Just say attach the input file to the PDFA file. Now, in this case, it doesn't make sense because there's more information in this EML container here than we have put into PDF into the PDF file here. But in many cases, when you, for example, convert a simple Word document or something into a PDFA file, it might make sense to say on this page here, embed the input file into the original file, and you have a hybrid archive all in one file, very easy, where you have the native format attached and a long-term enduring version or rendition of it as the PDFA document around it. So hybrid archiving in one file with PDFA3 is just a mouse click away. It's not clickable here because we selected PDFA2 with PDFA3. Now I'm ruining my job here. With PDFA3, we can do that. Okay, so that's allowed here. Now we would end up with the input file in here. I'm going to hit cancel here to not ruin it. Just as we have it here. This is first page rendition, and attached is the original input file. Not good for archiving again when it matters what's in the attachments, but the next one might be a solution. And the next one is again having a rendition of all the different files page by page in a row. We can navigate them using bookmarks as we had it before. And it has, in this case, the original container attached for further reference, for further doing anything with that. And the attachments could as well be the attachment, and it could be the EML and the attachments. And the PDF compressor can do anything for you in structuring the output in the way you need it from here. Okay. Guys, this is it when it comes to what I wanted to show you today. Again, I raise my hand here and say, don't do the wrong thing with PDFA3 and attach native formats and not convert archive material into an archiving format. So I warned you about that, but you can still see how structure rich it can be and how hybrid archiving can be useful, and how structuring emails to long-term secure renditions here can help you organizing your archives and organizing your workflows around that. Okay, with that, I'd say just for the moment, thank you very much. I have one more slide here, not counting, it's the last slide, it's the thank you slide. One more slide here saying where you can contact me, how you can contact me. This is my mobile number. You can just call me, call our offices, call your sales rep from LuraTech or one of our partners, whatever you want, or call me directly, send me an email. If you have any questions, if you want to take a look at that, if you want to have a demo version, if you want to have a webinar one-on-one to explain something, just really contact me and I'm going to set it up or do it myself so that we can figure out how to best use the PDF compressor for both scanned as well as born digital documents in your specific environment with your specific needs. So once again, for those who are done with their time now, it's almost 45 minutes now. Thank you very much, and it's okay to leave now. Nothing new and fancy coming up now. Just 2 questions I have here, and there might be more, which I'm going to answer now. So you're invited to stay if you like. Just that will be going over time to answering those questions a little bit. But anyway, gonna start it. First question I got here is about, oh, that might be a user of our software. Who knows what he's talking about. So the first question is about, can mixed raster content compression, MRC, so the layer compression that we just saw, being used inside Born Digital documents when we convert them? Yeah, absolutely it can. So the answer is pretty easy. It's yes, but I'm going to give an example on how this thing works. We already saw that OCR is applied to Born Digital documents when it's needed if you switch the PDF compressor to a setting like that. But the same thing applies for mixed documents who both contain scans and native or Born Digital formats or character encoded content in the same file. So example from my personal workflow here, I'm going to have to sign contracts every day here. So every day somebody asks me to sign a contract and send it back by email, including my signature. So what you could do is print out the whole 35 pages of a contract, then sign it on the last page, scan it all in again, run it through MRC compression, and end up with a complete scan, no Born Digital content in there anymore, hopefully OCR'd, hopefully accurate. It is a decent sized file because it's MRC compressed, it's searchable by OCR, but come on, you really destroyed 34 pages content of structured material. So what I do instead is I'm only printing the last page, signing off on the last page, then going back into the native, into the original PDF file, throw out the last page, replace it with the scanned page, and end up with 34 perfectly character encoded pages and the one last page, which is a scan. And running that through a document like that through the automatic mode of PDF Compressor now, you will end up with still a perfectly 34 pages character encoded content in, say, PDFA, like I do it. And the last page will be automatically MRC compressed because we detect it's a full page image. It is not readable, it doesn't have searchable content or whatnot, and we automatically apply MRC compression and OCR to it. So what you end up with, it is a start to finish searchable document, which is completely accurate on 34 pages, which is okay accurate with using the ABI OCR as we have it built in our PDF compressor for the last page, and the last page even is compressed and small. So using that together really plays out very well, and you end up with very intelligently optimized documents. And the other question I have here is again from one of our users. Obviously, one of our users who used to be a user already when the version 6 was still the latest version, because that's when we lost the so-called optimization mode. And the question here is, where is it gone? And now when I think about it, that's basically the same question. We don't need it any longer. If you run it through automatic mode, it automatically outputs the most optimized content in one roll, in one going through it. So there's no need to take a second course and then MRC through MRC the scan parts in there. It will be all done in the automatic mode as the default mode. So no need to have an extra optimization modes. Here's another question. See if I can understand it. If we do not use the automatic mode, what will happen if we try to OCR on an OCR document? Well, that's a very good question. So what happens with the OCR? Depends completely on the settings you have in there. And the settings for the automatic mode are fully automatic. And in that case, but I know you said you don't want to use the automatic mode. The settings are fully automatic, and in that case, we detect there is an OCR for that page already. and the default mode says keep that OCR, just really compress in that sense, optimize the image of that page, for example. If you switch to rasterize completely, and that is for the PDF part, and step out of the automatic mode and use the old MRC mode, you're a user as well, so you know what it is. Use the old MRC mode. Then we rasterize from the PDF, create new series of raster images, losing all the additional information like bookmarks and OCRs, just like it has been with the MRC mode. If you switch to always rasterize, it does so even for character encoded content. So when you go back to your version 6 kind of settings, there used to be MRC mode and optimization mode, and you can force to go back to that modes as well, and therefore by that decide what to keep and what to throw away by setting it off of automatic to always or never rasterize. It might be a little bit of difficult concept, especially for those who are not users. And I know ask the question. So if you still have a question about that or what the specific settings are, you can easily shoot an email to support team, support@LuraTech.com. By the way, they will totally explain you how to use it, of course, as part of your support and maintenance package, or shoot me an email and I take care of that and explain more in more detail. But generally speaking, the old modes are still enforceable if you take the right settings. Okay. Now it's 50 minutes into this webinar, and I think I'm going to close it now here. Additional questions that I have will be answered by emails to the respective, I don't know what's in English, the people who asked the question. I'm sorry for that. And other than that, if there's any question additionally coming up, again, you're invited. Shoot me an email. And this is it for now. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you liked it, tell everybody. If you don't, tell it to me. No. And if you liked it, you can probably also look into the next webinars that we are looking forward to. One of the next webinars coming up, I don't know the date again, but the date is announced on LuraTech's webpage, luratech.com. On the lower right corner there, you see the new upcoming webinars. The next one will be about email conversion. I looked at email conversion today from the technical point of view and how to structure and convert it. And my colleague Thomas is taking a look at email conversion from the business portion of it a little more. So what to do with emails, how to deal with emails in your workflows from a more business standpoint. So if you like that, take a look and check out our webinars. If you missed some information, check out our recorded webinars on YouTube or on the Knowledge Center on our webpage. And that's it for today, folks. Thank you very much once more. Have a good day, everybody out there.